there are some major updates for Daredevil Born Again, and there's gonna be good and there's gonna be bad. I'm very mixed on this aspect, but essentially, the first thing we're talking about is Jon Bernthal is returning as Punisher for Daredevil Born Again. And I'll say this right now, Jon Bernthal is such a talented actor. I've actually been listening to his podcast on YouTube. He's a very interesting guy. I like the way he conversates. I like him. But I especially love him as Punisher. I think he's a great Punisher. I think that Punisher show, while I don't think is as good as Daredevil, I say it has a lot of great scenes. It has a lot of great moments that I do will often remember. I think one of the scenes that will always pop in my head was that one scene where Punisher kills a pedophile. That scene always like pops in my head, especially when something happens with like EDP, or I'm watching something like To Catch a Predator. But no, I do love his Punisher. This got me excited. And I'll say this right now, I do think that this came out today purposely because another news came out. And that was Deborah Ann Woll and Eldon Henson will not return for Daredevil Born Again. Of course, they're both in the Daredevil show for all three seasons. One of them played Karen Page, the other played Foggy Nelson. This is the bad news, and I'll go into why this really upsets me. But first, let's get on with some happy news. We'll read a little bit. It says Jon Bernthal is returning to his most punishing role. The actor will reprise Frank Castle, aka anti-hero the Punisher, in Marvel Studios' Daredevil Born Again for Disney Plus, sources tell a Hollywood Reporter. Bernthal joins Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio in the series, which begins shooting in New York this month, and a departure from other Marvel series, which come in at 6 or 9 episodes per season. Born Again is planned as a whopping 18-episode epic. Writers and executive producers Matt Corman and Chris Ward are behind the show, which is expected to bow in the spring of 2024. And that's all we really got to know. So this is now confirmed that Punisher will be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For a long time, we've been wondering if he was going to be in it. I mean, yeah, everyone knows that Punisher is an iconic Marvel character, but because of the recent controversy in the last couple of years about that logo in and of itself, not only that, but wondering will Disney, or not Disney, but Marvel, which is owned by Disney, obviously, but like, will they allow such a brutal R-rated character like Punisher? And then we got kind of hints of it that was going to happen because they did release Punisher on Disney Plus. Like, it's there, right? Um, and this really makes things interesting. I'm excited for this. It seems like it's going to be kind of a soft reboot per se, but I don't even like calling it a reboot. I like calling it another universe. I know people don't like to hear that, but I like to call all of this another universe. I don't think we're getting the same Matt Murdock from the Netflix series. Same thing with Punisher. Same thing with Kingpin. No matter who. And I think that's really indicate, especially on this. I just don't know how you can do a Daredevil series that's continuing the Netflix series without Foggy and Karen. Let me talk about Punisher. I'm excited. I love Punisher. I love Jon Bernthal. I'm excited to see him. I hope he gets his own show on Disney Plus. Although I won't lie to you, I'm concerned. I'm very concerned on how they're gonna approach Punisher in the MCU. I feel like the MCU has not done a good job in recent years with characters such as Hulk, you know. But they have shown me that they can do some cool characters. Bucky, I thought was cool. I think Sam Wilson's cool. I think there's a couple cool characters, but I really think that they really need to nail it with Punisher. Not only that, but they just applied more pressure because now not only are you bringing Punisher into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but you're bringing in an already established Punisher, a Jon Bernthal. When people think the Punisher, they think of Jon Bernthal now because he's almost taken that role and he's already had 2 complete seasons of television. But it's kind of crazy knowing that Punisher and Daredevil exist in a universe where Moon Knight is talking to Khonshu, where She-Hulk is a lawyer, where Spider-Man's just swinging through New York. It's starting to feel a lot more comic booky. And I know nobody likes to hear me say that, but comic books are very disoriented. A lot of times they're not very organized, which I really don't care. Just give me a good story. But it is starting to feel kind of that way, which is all right. Just give me a good story. But that is interesting. Now, to get on the other part of it, if it even lets me go on the tab, This is the part, this really took, because I do think that what happened was Marvel and Disney, they both knew this news was going to come out. And so they kind of, I mean, of course, they're both coming from the Hollywood Reporter, but I feel like they knew people were going to be upset about this. And so they announced Jon Bernthal as Punisher coming in. Now, I'm still excited. Even without Foggy and Karen, I'm still excited. You have Kingpin, you have Daredevil, and you have Punisher. You have Bernthal, Vincent D'Onofrio, Charlie Cox. They're phenomenal actors who have already proven that they can take on the roles really well. Right? So that already excites me in and of itself. However, that Daredevil show, part of the heart of the show was Foggy's friendship with the Matt, Karen, Foggy, all of them. And I feel like taking away that takes away the heart. Now I'm gonna give Feige the benefit of the doubt. I'm always gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because he has proven to me time and time again that he's a great producer. He's an amazing producer, and he has proven that hey, he can do the job when the job is required. However, this does leave a sour taste. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I'm all okay with this. Because, again, they were a major part. Now, the one thing that I really... Because if this is obviously true. It's coming from the Hollywood Reporter. Since this is true, I'm really hoping this is another universe. This isn't the Netflix verse. This isn't that universe. Because I don't know how you can continue the Daredevil series in that universe with Karen and Foggy gone. I don't see how you continue it that way. They were the heart. It would feel weird if they just all of a sudden just weren't there. Unless for some reason they're going to focus more on his Daredevil aspect rather than, the lawyer stuff, which would make no sense because that's part of Matt Murdock's identity. It's kind of like having Peter Parker only be Spider-Man in a movie and not show you his Peter Parker life. So I just don't see the point. I don't see the point. So my hope is that this is just a new universe, a new Matt Murdock that happens to look like the previous Matt Murdock, Punisher, and all these other characters. And then they'll go on with their own story. But I really hope that Marvel comes out and just says it. Because I don't think as fans you should be wondering that. And while I'm excited for Daredevil Born Again, and I loved seeing Charlie Cox and She-Hulk, look, She-Hulk I thought was mediocre. I thought it was below average. I think She-Hulk needed so much work to be done. It needed so many improvements. But I'll say it right now. The one episode where Matt Murdock, that entire Daredevil episode, I've rewatched that episode 4 times. I love that episode that much. So I already know that Marvel can do really well with Daredevil. Even the suit, I never in my life thought that the yellow-purple suit from the comics would ever translate well to live action. But they actually did it. They actually did it. That's how surprising they did. Even his cameo, No Way Home, even though it was barely anything, in the extended cut of the film, he was freaking amazing. But again, Karen Foggy, they were the heart and soul of that show, right? They of course aren't the most important part. The most important part is of course Kingpin, Matt Murdock, and all that. But like, to use a good example, Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania. When we didn't see David Dasmalchian, when we didn't see Michael Pena as Luis, when we didn't see that little group, I won't lie to you, Quantumania felt kind of empty. It really did. Not seeing that core friend group, right? This would feel like if we had a Spider-Man movie without Ned and MJ. It just would feel like, why? Right? And Quantumania is now proof of that. But, again, I'm going to give Feige the benefit of the doubt. I really hope this is now a new universe. And I'd be fine if they carried on with Netflix. I just don't think they should carry on with the Netflix universe if you're not even going to have Karen and Foggy, who are so essential to the character of Matt Murdock. But I hope this is a new soft reboot, which I think they should announce by now. Because I'm sorry, Daredevil has already been on 2 freaking projects. You just got to come out and say, hey, this is a new soft reboot on the characters. Sure, they look exactly the same, but this is another... Don't even call it a reboot, because I know the reboot word amongst comics fans is kind of like the worst term you could ever use on comic fans. So just go out and say, this is a new universe. This is a separate universe. The Netflix verse is its own universe. This is its own universe. This is in the 616 Marvel Cinematic universe, right? That's how I would approach it, because again, if you're not even going to have the core characters of that show, why even do it? But anyways, I feel like my excitement for Punisher's return kind of got derailed by the whole not having Foggy and Karen. But either way, I'm excited for the show. I'm going to be looking forward for it. I'm going to watch it day one. What really excites me of this Born Again series is the fact that they're getting rid of that 6-episode BS. Sorry, but 6 episodes is not a season. Especially when your episode... I don't know how the heck shows like Moon Knight and Loki that have 6 episodes, that most of them are only 40 minutes long, somehow manage to have filler episodes. How do you even do that? I get if you have a 10 episode series or a 20 episode series, but 6 episodes and you have filler episodes? The heck is going on, man? And that's why I think that this show, being 18 episodes, shows that there's going to be some improvements. At least with the thing that Marvel really, really, really needs improvement on is on Disney Plus shows. Those are what really need more work. And what sucks is that they started off with a banger with WandaVision, and then kind of little by little kind of got lower. But either way, I'm excited for the show. I'm excited to see Punisher come back. I am very concerned that we're not going to see the characters we love come back, but it is what it is. As long as they have the ones that we love most, which is Punisher and Matt Murdock. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Y'all let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think about this? Do you agree, disagree? Whatever it is, let us know in the comment section down below. See y'all in the next one. Ciao.
Where do you go?